The scene opens in twilight. A wide, dusky frame stretches before you, where the last light of the day brushes against the slow-moving surface of a river. It is neither fully night nor fully day, just that thin, weightless moment where everything exhaled at once. The water carries a soft, amber glow, like the earth is holding a lantern beneath the current. Mist drifts upward in pale ribbons, each one dissolving into the cool air with the calm patience of something that has done this for thousands of nights. The camera of your mind drifts downward, moving like a quiet crane, shot slow, smooth, almost floating. It hovers just above the surface. You can see the ripples widen and fade like circles of memory expanding outward. Every movement seems deliberate, as if the river already knows you are watching and wants to show you the right angle, the right reflection, the right texture of time. Listen, the sound arrives as a gentle, layered hush water touching stone, water folding over itself, water whispering to the edges of the world. River sound isn't random. It has its own emotional frequency. Neuroscientists call this stochastic resonance, where soft, irregular patterns soothe the anxious spaces in your thoughts. The river doesn't rush. It murmurs. It doesn't demand. It invites. And somehow, it sounds like time moving slower than it ever does in your waking hours. This is where relaxing science begins, not in textbooks, but in sensations, in the Earth's slow breathing, in the way nature teaches the body to quiet itself simply by existing. As your mind's lens draws closer, the river at dusk becomes a living timeline, a silky path where water molecules travel in endless cycles, evaporating into clouds, condensing into droplets, returning to the ground, as rain gathering into streams, carving their way back to the sea. A cycle measured not in days, but in quiet eternities. You can almost feel the age inside each ripple, like every curve of motion has been shaped by centuries of repetition. A softer revelation waits just ahead. The river isn't just flowing forward. It is carrying the past in its movement. Every drop has touched mountains, forests, clouds, and creatures long before reaching this moment with you. The river is the memory of the planet made fluid. And when it speaks, if you close your eyes and listen deeply, you hear the echo of that long memory. This is why rivers sound like time passing slowly, because the water is old, because the motion is ancient, because the pace is the pace the earth prefers. In sleepy science narration, We often say the mind is a night sky, wide open, threaded with quiet constellations of thought. Tonight, the river becomes one of those constellations. You are not watching it. You are entering it. The narration begins to tilt gently, like the lens is drifting downstream. Every sound deepens. Every moment stretches wider. A dreamy science film forming in real time. Notice how the color grading shifts. Now cooler blues rising from the depths. Warm copper fading from the sky. The emotional palette is changing. The scene becomes softer, thicker, feathered at the edges, as if dipped in the slow glow of the universe. The atmosphere grows more cinematic, more immersive, aligning perfectly with the kind of thumbnail where light bends over water and mist curls upward like ancient breath. Another layer of the quiet universe is about to unfold. Hydrologists describe river flow as a dialogue between gravity terrain and resistance. But in this moment, it feels more like the river is speaking directly to your nervous system. The steady, white noise hum slows your heartbeat. The micro variations in sound encourage the brain to release its grip on the day. Theta waves start to rise, those drifting transitional rhythms that guide you toward sleep. The water doesn't hurry. The mind doesn't need to either. The Earth's slow breathing becomes your own. A dissolve shot. Now the view passes seamlessly from the shimmering surface into the deeper layers below. Pebbles glow softly beneath the water, diffusing the last fragments of light. Sediments drift like infinitesimal galaxies, each grain carried by a current older than entire civilizations. Everything below the surface moves with a purpose so gentle you can hardly detect it. This is dreamy science, where fact becomes atmosphere, where knowledge moves at the pace of a calm heartbeat. The riverbed murmurs with low, resonant vibrations. Not loud enough to hear, just enough to feel. That hum is friction, physics, motion energy being redistributed, molecule by molecule. If rivers had a voice box, this would be their lullaby, a cosmic hum softened by water. Stay with the glowing edge of this moment. The mind begins to sink into the story, not as information, but as sensation, as drifting presence, as something ancient holding your attention without effort. The river becomes a slow-moving memory palace, every ripple a door, every swirl a passage, every eddy a place where the world takes a long, quiet pause. This is why people fall asleep to science, because science, when slowed to the pace of the earth, becomes a lullaby made of understanding, a cosmic lullaby, a merging of fact and calm. In this cinematic universe, rivers are one of the oldest characters, wise, patient narrators who speak in continuous motion rather than words. And tonight, they are guiding you toward that soft internal shoreline where thought becomes dream. A subtle anticipation hook now forms at the edge of your awareness. There is something waiting upstream, something quieter, older, deeper about the way rivers hold time itself. But we will drift toward that in the next part, letting the current carry us one gentle curve at a time. For now, breathe with the water. Let it slow you. Let it soften you, and let the earth's slow breathing become the soundtrack beneath your own. The scene opens in a soft pre-dawn blue, not full morning, not full night. Just the quiet hour where the world feels suspended in a cool breath between worlds. The river is still here, but it looks different in this early light, quieter, slower, almost as if it's remembering something. A thin layer of mist clings to the surface, drifting in slow, ghost-like trails that blur the boundary between water and sky. Everything is drenched in a tranquil lunar glow. The lens of your mind glides slowly across the surface, moving upstream now. Each movement feels like a steady dolly shot, smooth, quiet, capturing the tender gradient of light spreading across the river's skin. Ripples echo outward in gentle patterns, each one expanding like soft circles of thought. The air is still, and the sound of the water becomes a textured whisper, layered, soft, endlessly patient. You can feel it already. The river is guiding you somewhere older. Upstream is not just a direction. It is a return. A softer revelation waits just ahead. Hydrologists often say the sound of a river is shaped by friction, water, brushing stones, pressing into bends, weaving through narrow channels. But in sleepy science narration, this becomes something more, the physics of memory. When water meets resistance, it tells a story. When it bends around stone, it carries history. When it narrows or widens, it changes its tone, like an ancient instrument played by the earth's slow breathing. Listen closely now. The sound changes in subtle waves, higher, whispers, deeper, notes, soft breaks, gentle merges. It's a natural symphony composed entirely by terrain and time. Neuroscientists know these micro-variations trigger relaxation, nudging the brain toward theta wave drift. This is why rivers make you feel as if time passes slowly, because the river's rhythm resembles the internal tempo of a mind preparing to sleep. The mind as a night sky, the river as a constellation of sound. Dreamy science unfolding between them. Another layer of the universe is about to open. The camera widens into a sweeping aerial shot. The river curves gently through a valley of moss-covered stones and tall pine silhouettes. Every tree leans with a quiet reverence toward the water, as if acknowledging a long friendship. The greens are deep and ancient. The blues are cool and meditative. The color grading shifts into a palette of calm emerald shadows, silver reflections, muted golds still waiting inside the horizon. This is where relaxing science blends with cinematic presence. Every molecule of this river once belonged to something else. Maybe it fell as snow centuries ago. Maybe it rose from an ancient ocean before mountains existed. Maybe it was exhaled from the breath of a creature long extinct. Water has the longest memory on Earth, and now drifting upstream with it, you feel those memories settling into your own breathing. The Earth's slow breathing becomes even more palpable. The narration tightens into a soft macro shot. A single droplet moves along a leaf, falls, touches the surface, then disappears into the current. One moment, one motion, one ripple expanding into the quiet dawn. That single ripple is the language of time, because in the physics of rivers, nothing is ever still. Even the quietest pools are shifting. Even the gentlest surfaces are traveling. Time, like water, moves even when you don't notice. And this is why listening to rivers slows your perception of time, because the brain synchronizes with motion that is not rushed, not loud, not linear. It is motion shaped by patience. Stay with this moment a little longer. You drift closer to the riverbank, where roots twist from the soil, gripping the earth, like fingers holding stories. Some roots are thick and ancient, others thin and new. You notice how the river's flow nudges them gently, brushing them in passing like an old friend. Every root remembers every flood, every drought, every season. They have grown according to the rhythm of this water, shaped by decades of listening. This is the multi-video continuity whispering through the universe. In another story, we listened to the heartbeat of a forest. Tonight, the river carries the same pulse, just in a different form. A gentle dissolve takes us underwater. Light scatters through the surface in trembling veins, illuminating the tiny suspended particles drifting through the current. Each grain glides like a slow-moving star, in an underwater cosmos. It's a micro-universe, quiet, drifting, ethereal. If you stay still enough, you can sense the faint hum of the current pushing everything forward in an endless, calm direction. Here, motion feels like the passage of centuries. Geologists describe rivers as sculptors carving mountains, cutting valleys, wearing stone into sand. But to the sleepy mind, this erosion becomes a cinematic choreography of slow transformation. Every pebble, shaped by the current, carries hundreds of years of touch. Every curve of the river tells a story of persistence. The mind drifts deeper. Every soft variation in sound, every shimmer of light, every muted echo of motion gently untangles the tension inside your thoughts, loosening the knots, making everything drift. This is the physics of calm. This is the neuroscience of release. This is what it means to fall asleep to science. A quiet anticipation begins to glow. Far upstream, the river becomes something else, older, wilder, closer to its source. The moment we reach that place, the connection between water and time will become clearer than ever before. But we will drift there, slowly following the Earth's slow breathing, without rushing the dream. For now the dawn thickens, the mist lifts, the river hums its ancient, patient lullaby, and upstream a deeper secret waits. The scene opens with a soft dissolve into mid-morning light. The river is brighter now, but still gentle, still moving with that slow, ancient patience that feels like time stretching itself into wider shapes. The sunlight doesn't fall sharply. Instead, it filters through the canopy in warm, golden streams, scattering across the water like drifting shards of memory. The camera moves with a delicate tilt, capturing the shift in color, turquoise shadows beneath the surface, amber glimmers above, and soft jade hues along the moss-lined stones. Here the river feels slightly more alive, not rushed, just awakened, as if it's beginning to remember something it wants to share with you. A softer revelation waits just ahead. The sound shifts subtly, no longer just a whisper. There are faint, percussive notes now, tiny impacts where droplets break against stones, rhythmic touches where water curls around hidden bends. Hydrodynamics teaches us that as the channel narrows, water accelerates. But in sleepy science narration, this acceleration becomes something else. The audible shape of time, tightening, then loosening, then spreading again across the seconds of your mind. That gentle tightening, that soft spreading, it redefines your sense of pacing, because rivers don't just flow, they breathe in cycles. The lens glides lower, brushing the tops of the ripples. Each glint of sunlight becomes a spark, and each spark becomes a fragment of a story you haven't heard yet. The microcurrents swirl like thoughts, gently reorganizing themselves. The water's motion feels meaningful, as if carrying a quiet message inside its shifting patterns. Stay close to the glowing edge of this moment. The riverbank curves, guiding you into a corridor of tall ferns and broadleaf plants. Leaves tremble slightly in the passing breeze, casting thin, shifting shadows on the surface. These shadows drift with the water, stretching into long, wavering silhouettes that resemble time-lapse traces, moments elongated into gentle motion. The Earth's slow breathing becomes visible here in the sway of leaves, in the soft slosh against roots, in the inhaling of cool morning air, in the exhaling warmth rising from the forest floor. Everything around you breathes with the river. Another layer of the universe is about to unfurl. From an overhead wide shot, the river now resembles a silver thread weaving through a tapestry of green. From this height, time feels different, less linear, more like a drifting loop. The pace of nature shifts depending on where you observe it. Up close, the river seems alive with micro-movements. From above, it becomes a slow migration, carved across the land, moving with the confidence of geological time. This is relaying science, truth softened into gentleness. The lens sinks again toward the river's hands, its flow, its texture, its ripples. Every flicker of light, every layer of sound pulls you deeper into the soft geometry of movement. If you listen carefully, the current begins forming a pattern, a repeating wave that returns every few seconds. This is flow periodicity, something aquatic ecologists study. But here, it becomes something simpler and more essential, an echo. Not an echo of sound, an echo of time. This is why the river feels familiar, even when you've never been here before. Its rhythm resembles the internal cycles of your mind, slower, breathing, drifting attention, the soft loop patterns that appear right before sleep. It is the science of calm disguised as a landscape. Your thoughts drift like leaves caught in the surface tension. Another anticipation hook emerges. There is a place upstream where the rhythm changes dramatically, a region where the river remembers the beginning of its own story. We will drift there soon, but the river wants to show you something else first. A subtle shift, now a slow pan to the left. At the edge of the riverbank sits a fallen tree. Moss covers its arms. Roots hang suspended over the water like threads of an unraveling tapestry. The river brushes against them with soft consistency, carving delicate, repeating patterns into the decaying wood. This is erosion. But in cinematic narration, erosion is a kind of gentle handwriting. The river is writing time into everything it touches. Even the moss seems to hum in agreement. Water droplets cling to its surface, refracting light in tiny prismatic flares. Each droplet is a lens. Each lens captures an entire miniature world upside down. You can see the sky reflected in a sphere smaller than a grain of rice, curved and glowing. This is dreamy science, where scale becomes fluid, and every perspective feels sacred. The camera eases into macro focus. Inside one droplet, a whole universe trembles. Your breath synchronizes with the steady flow of the river. The longer you stay here, the more your thoughts soften around the edges, like stones losing their sharpness over centuries of gentle contact. Even your inner sense of urgency, so loud in daytime life, begins to dissolve into wide, unhurried motion. Time is not leaving you. It's expanding to make room for rest. A gentle underwater cut brings you back below the surface. The flow carries tiny flecks of mica and quartz sparkling like ancient stars drifting beneath the current. Light refracts differently here, bending into soft rainbows that stretch and melt along the riverbed. If you look closely, the water's speed slightly increases just a touch. This has a physiological effect. Even mild acceleration in natural water sounds increases the brain's relaxation response. It fills the unconscious expectation of continuity, something holding, something guiding, something consistent enough to trust. This is one reason people fall asleep to science. And nature, sounds. The brain is comforted by patterns that persist, and rivers are masters of persistence. Another layer of meaning begins to glow. The river is not just carrying water. It's carrying gravity, friction, energy, sunlight, sediments, microbes, dissolved minerals, dissolved time. Everything flows together in one steady narrative, and you drift inside that narrative without having to think or try. This is the neuroscience of surrender. A soft dissolve now shifts the scene into an even quieter place. The vegetation thickens. The river narrows slightly. The sound becomes more textured and intimate upstream. Something ancient is waiting. Something about the very beginning of this river. Something about how time first learned to move. We are getting closer, but for now, you float in the middle of this glowing morning, carried by water that has traveled farther than memory can measure. Let yourself drift. Let yourself loosen. Let the world slow inside you. The earth's slow breathing becomes your own. The scene opens with a slow fade into late morning light. The river is changing again. The sounds are a little sharper now, but still soft, still wrapped in that hushed, dreamy resonance that feels like the earth thinking in slow motion. Sunlight filters through tree branches at a higher angle, scattering in bright, trembling fragments across the water. Each fragment stretches into elongated streaks when the current pulls it forward, like time itself being drawn into gentle threads. The camera drifts low, gliding just above the surface. Water rushes beneath us in long, shimmering lines. You can almost feel the cool mist brushing your face. Upstream is becoming more than a direction. It is becoming a memory unfolding. A softer revelation waits just ahead. Ecologists often describe rivers as lifelines, not because they provide water, but because they connect everything. Soil, animals, forests, mountains, clouds. But in sleepy science narration, the river becomes something even more intimate, a timeline braided with motion. Each bend in the river is a chapter. Each shift in sound is a paragraph. Each ripple is a sentence. The river is telling its story in fluid language. The lens begins a slow upward tilt, capturing the rising slope of the forest around you. Ferns grow taller here. Trunks lean closer. Shadows stretch across the water like soft hands. Even the air feels different, cooler, more textured, as if carrying particles of ancient stone within it. You sense it intuitively. We are approaching the river's earliest memories. Another layer of the universe opens now. The river narrows once more, and with it, the sound grows more intricate. Tiny cascades trickling over rocks, brief splashes where water leaps into miniature falls. Not dramatic, not loud, just a delicate choreography of drops and flows, a percussion made of patience. This is where the physics becomes emotional, because when water encounters elevation, it falls. When it falls, it sings. And the brain responds to these soft, irregular rhythms with ease, decoding them as safe, continuous, trustworthy. Your mind, following the river's example, slows. Thoughts stretch. Tension loosens. Another anticipation. Hook begins to glow softly. Ahead, the river becomes young. So young, it barely resembles a river at all. A place where time itself moves differently. But we'll drift to that, gently letting the current guide every step of this cinematic dream. Stay with the glowing edge of this moment. The lens slides underwater again. Down here, light dances like scattered silk. Tiny air bubbles cling to algae-covered stones, each one catching a miniature reflection of the sky. The current pulls everything forward in a shimmering, horizontal drift, like galaxies sliding across the deep of space. This is dreamy science, the blending of fluid dynamics and imagination. The riverbed shifts under you. Pebbles, fragments of ancient rock grains formed from mountains, worn down grain by grain. Geologists would measure the erosion, rate, estimate sediment loads, calculate flow resistance. But here, erosion becomes the work of time's fingertips. The river isn't destroying the rocks. It's sculpting them, softening them, teaching them to let go. Even the stones know how to surrender. A soft cut transitions us back above the surface. The forest opens into a sunlit clearing, and the river stretches into a shallow, glass-bright expanse. The water here barely covers the stones, just a thin sheet that glides over them with gentle insistence. The sound becomes softer, smoother, almost like a whisper inside a whisper. This is where the river begins remembering childhood. Scientists call this part of a river the upper reach, but spiritually, it is the river's earliest breath, the place where snowmelt or rain gathers into small threads of flow, the place where motion first takes shape, the place where time begins learning how to move slowly. Look closely at the surface. It vibrates in delicate, trembling waves, each one reacting to a hidden stone, a submerged branch, or a tiny dip in the riverbed. This trembling is flow complexity at its simplest. But to your sleepy mind, it looks like time discovering its own rhythm for the first time. Another layer of meaning emerges. Rivers sound like time passing slowly, because they grew from places where time had no need to rush. The lens rises higher now, giving you a bird's eye view. From above, the water forms intricate branching patterns, micro-tributaries, weaving into one another, splitting, joining, dancing, like threads of silver, stitching the land together. Every branch is a choice the river made. Every convergence is a reunion. This is relaxing science, not rigid rules, but soft patterns the earth paints over centuries. You drift back down to the river's edge. Here the water is so clear, you can see tiny insects skating across the surface. Tension, their legs creating little dimples that distort the reflections around them. This tension, this thin, elastic membrane at the top of the water, is physics made visible. It catches sunlight in shimmering halos. It carries the weight of small creatures. It holds every reflection like a fragile memory suspended between worlds. This is how the mind holds thought just before sleep, lightly, delicately, carefully. A dissolve shot now follows a single droplet as it rolls down a blade of grass. It falls. It touches the water. It becomes part of the river. 1 second it was separate. The next it is motion. This is what the river has been teaching you since part 1. Everything becomes part of the flow eventually. Thoughts, worries, memories, sensations. The river knows how to carry them all with grace. Another anticipation whisper surfaces upstream. The river becomes even younger, so young it doesn't flow yet. It simply gathers, pools, breathes, reflects, a cradle of time. We will arrive there soon, but for now, let the water soften your mind. Let it wash the edges of your tired thoughts. Let its clarity fill you with quiet. The earth's slow breathing continues to guide you, and the river continues to lead you back in time. The scene opens with a slow fade into an even higher elevation. The river feels younger now, not weaker, just gentler, as though its memories are becoming more recent, more childlike. The forest canopy thins, letting more sunlight spill through in wide, soft waves. The colors are different here. Cooler greens, brighter golds, more open blue sky. The air feels crisp, carrying hints of mineral coldness from distant heights. The camera glides along the stream, following its path as it winds through moss-stained rocks and ferns brushed by morning wind. The sound is softer, but more intricate, like thousands of delicate notes woven together with patient intention. This is the part of the river where time begins to feel new. A softer revelation waits just ahead. From here, the river no longer feels like a continuous motion. It feels like many small beginnings converging. Tiny channels merge into broader threads, each one carrying its own distinct voice. Some trickle lightly over stones. Some slide in thin sheets across smooth surfaces. Some leap in miniature waterfalls, barely an inch tall. Each voice is a syllable in the river's growing language. Hydrologists would describe this as confluence dynamics, tiny tributaries joining into larger ones. But in sleepy science narration, this becomes the early grammar of time. This is how time learns to move hesitantly. At first, then with increasing confidence. What you're hearing now is time practicing its first steps. The lens drifts into a macro shot. A droplet clings to a pine needle. It trembles, catching a blinding thread of sunlight. Then it falls. Its descent is slow in your perception, as if gravity itself is pausing to admire the moment. The droplet lands on a smooth stone, breaks into smaller spheres, and rolls into the stream, disappearing into the flow. This, too, is a beginning. Water always begins again. Stay close to this glowing moment. The scene widens again. Up ahead, the riverbed rises into a series of natural terraces, layers of rock shaped by millennia of rainfall. Water cascades down them in thin, glittering curtains. The sound here is mesmerizing, soft, melodic, endlessly varied. Not loud enough to startle, not fast enough to overwhelm, just complex enough to draw the mind into a deeper listening. You can feel it happening inside you. Your thoughts lengthening, your breathing, slowing your body, drifting closer to the gentle frontier between wakefulness and dream. Another layer of the universe opens now. The lens drifts upward into a high aerial shot. Here the river resembles a network of silver veins branching across a wide mountainside. Each thread is alive, shimmering, moving with intention. From above, the river's structure looks like the fractal patterns of lung tissue, or the branching of neurons, or the delicate markings of frost on a winter window. The universe loves repeating itself across scales, across domains, across time. This is relaxing science in its purest form, nature showing its elegant patterns without needing to explain them. The camera lowers again, returning you to the river's edge. Now the sound deepens subtly, not in volume, in meaning. This is because the river has begun to enter the zone hydrogeologists call headwaters, the birthplace of flow. But emotionally, this place feels like the river's earliest dream. Water gathers here in small pockets, hovering before deciding where to go. Pools reflect the sky with perfect clarity. Shadows drift across them like wandering memories. This is where time begins to listen before it moves. Another anticipation. Hook glows softly at the edges. There is a spring ahead, a hidden source where water rises straight from the Earth's heart. The moment we reach it, the connection between rivers and time will become unmistakable. But we drift there, gently, letting the cinematic physics carry us. A slow, delicate pan to the left. You find a hollow in the riverbank, a quiet alcove where the water deepens into a small pool. The surface is glass smooth. No ripples, no movement. Just stillness, holding its breath. Look closer. Beneath the surface, water swirls in slow spirals, creating soft vortexes. These spirals are driven by subtle variations in current velocity. To the mind, they look like the gentle turning of distant galaxies. Time does not only move forward. Sometimes it circles. Sometimes it lingers. Sometimes it holds you until you're ready. Your breathing synchronizes with the micro eddies below. In, slow. Out, slower. Like falling asleep inside a moving mirror, a gentle underwater cut. The stones beneath the pool glow with diffused sunlight. The water is so clear that even the tiniest particles drifting through look like suspended constellations. The current here moves at almost imperceptible speed, just enough to keep things from settling, not enough to disturb the dream. This is why rivers sound like slow time, because parts of them barely move at all. Stillness blends with motion. Silence blends with sound. The mind blends with the river. Another dissolve now transitions you further upstream. The terrain rises. The air cools. The sound thins, becoming a delicate whisper against stone. You sense it instinctively. We are near the river's earliest heartbeat. The forest opens into a broad mountainside meadow. Grass sways in slow waves. Light glitters off wet stones. Tiny threads of water appear everywhere. Trickles emerging from soil, drips falling from overgrown roots, secret rivulets winding their way toward the forming stream. This is the river in its infancy, a mosaic of beginnings, and time is softest in this place, barely moving, barely speaking, barely deciding how it wants to become itself. Breathe with it. Drift with it. Let the young river's calm touch your thoughts gently. The earth's slow breathing continues its quiet guidance, and upstream, the true source is waiting. The scene opens with a quiet blue-white glow. The air is cooler now, thinner, carrying the crisp scent of stone and sky. The forest has fallen behind you, and in its place rises a gentler, more open landscape, one where the earth feels freshly made. Light spills across the ground in long slanted beams, illuminating patches of wild flowers and pale grasses swaying in slow, rhythmic motion. Everything moves with the softness of a world still waking from a long dream. The river, now more a stream than a river, runs beside you in slender silver threads, weaving between rocks, shimmering in the morning light like a ribbon of quiet. Upstream isn't just a direction anymore. It feels like a revelation, slowly unfolding. A softer truth waits just ahead. You drift closer to the narrowing stream. The camera edges near the waterline, letting you see how the surface fractures light into tiny kaleidoscopic dances. Every shimmer feels like a heartbeat. Every ripple feels like a whisper of something ancient rising from beneath the soil. Hydrologists call these uppermost regions first-order channels, where water organizes itself before becoming a river. But in sleepy science narration, this is something much deeper. This is the nursery of time. Here, water does not rush. It gathers, it listens, it learns the shape of motion. The sound shifts again, finer and more delicate. Not rushing, not flowing, just a soft crystalline trickling, like glass beads rolling across stone. The mind responds instinctively. These small, irregular sounds trigger the brain's relaxation pathways, miniature variations that mimic the calming randomness of nature. Your thoughts start blending into the sound, adjusting to its pace, slow, patient, unhurried. Stay close to this glowing moment. The lens pulls upward into a wide shot. The stream winds across the mountainside in thin, shining stripes, each one a different branch of the river's baby form. They gather and separate, reunite and drift apart, tracing patterns that resemble delicate calligraphy etched across the land. Above, the sky stretches vast and pale, as if the world has been washed clean. Another layer of the universe is about to open. A gentle tilt brings the camera downward toward a shallow basin carved into stone. Water pools here, smooth and clear, before spilling gently over the edge into a tiny fall, no taller than your hand. This is not a dramatic waterfall. It is a whisper of water, learning to fall. Physically, this is headwater hydrodynamics. Emotionally, this is time learning direction. The droplets glisten as they fall, each one catching sunlight like a miniature star. They land in the stream below with soft sounds, tiny chimes blending into the slow chorus around you. Another anticipation. Hook emerges softly. Up ahead is the spring, the exact place where the river is born, where water rises through earth itself. In that place, time and water share the same origin story. But first, the river wants you to witness its earliest reflections. The camera shifts into a micro-cinematic close-up. A thin thread of water winds around a stone, flecked with lichen. The lichen glows pale green under the sunlight. Tiny grains of sediment tumble in the current like drifting dust in a beam of golden light. Their movement is almost nothing so slow. It borders on stillness. This is dreamy science motion that appears frozen, yet is always happening. You drift with the camera down into the shallowest part of the stream. Sunlight refracts through the surface, forming trembling, luminous patterns on the riverbed. These patterns shift constantly as the water moves, creating shimmering maps of light that dance across the stones. These are called caustic networks, physics made beautiful. To a scientist, they are simple optical phenomena. To a tired mind, they are moving lullabies. You watch the patterns sway slowly. You feel your breathing mimic their rhythm. In, out, soft, softer still. The boundaries of time begin to loosen inside you. Another dissolve transitions the scene into a narrow corridor of stone. The stream disappears beneath a small overhang. The sound develops a muted echo-like quality, as if the water is speaking through a chamber of memory. The camera slips beneath the stone shelf. A hidden pool emerges, glowing with faint turquoise light. The surface is disturbed only by occasional droplets falling from the moss-covered ceiling above. Each droplet creates a single, expanding ripple. One ripple, then another, then silence. This is the sound of slow time. This is the pace at which the earth heals itself. The ripples fade into stillness. The pool becomes a mirror. Look into it. In the reflection, you see the sky framed by stone clouds, drifting like slow thoughts. Light bending gently, the world appearing softer, as if wrapped in its own dream. Rivers sound like time passing slowly, because they carry both motion and stillness, because they hold both memory and forgetting, because they move forward while reflecting upward. Your mind drifts deeper into this duality. Another gentle transition. The terrain rises again, and the stream becomes thin enough to step across in a single stride. But it is stronger now, colder, clearer, carrying a faint mineral shimmer. The sound becomes more crystalline, more precise. Time feels sharper here, but not faster, just newly formed. Everything in this place whispers, you are near the beginning. The camera rises, following the stream, toward a cluster of stones arranged in a natural bowl. Here, droplets emerge not from rain or runoff, but from beneath the ground, risen through cracks of ancient rock. This is the spring, the source, the birthplace of the river, the birthplace of its sound, the birthplace of slow time. The water here is impossibly clear, as if it carries no history, yet only potential. Dip your awareness into it. Feel the coolness. Feel the calm. Feel the patience. This is where the earth releases its slowest breath, and for a moment, time feels like it has stopped to welcome you. But this is only the beginning of what the river wants to show you. Upstream has ended, but now a deeper journey begins, one that flows forward downstream into the long, ancient timeline of Earth. We will follow it gently. The Earth's slow breathing continues, and you drift into its pulse. The scene opens with a soft upward glow, as if the world has exhaled light from beneath the stones. You stand, or rather drift, at the birthplace of the river. A spring, clear as breath, rises gently from the earth's hidden chambers. There is no rush, no urgency, only the softest emergence a quiet release of water that has traveled underground for years, decades, centuries. This is where the river begins its life. And this is where time first learns how to flow. The camera of your mind holds this moment in a long, steady shot. No movement, just stillness, except for the faint trembling of water pushing upward in tiny distortions of the surface. It looks like glass being breathed upon by the earth. You can almost hear it, the first heartbeat of motion. A softer revelation waits just ahead. From hydrogeology's perspective, springs form where groundwater pressure forces water upward until it spills into the open air. But in sleepy science narration, this moment becomes something deeper. This is the Earth's memory rising. Everything collected below the minerals, the coldness, the slow drifting molecules now gathers into a single gesture of release. The camera lowers, drifting close to the spring's lip. Droplets cling to moss, reflecting the sky in trembling, miniature globes. They fall one by one, tiny meteors entering the newborn stream. The sound is crystalline, like soft chimes echoing across a vast silence. Your breathing slows to match the rhythm. In, gentle. Out, gentler. Still, stay close to the glowing edge of this moment. The lens begins a gradual pan downstream. The spring feeds into a thin ribbon of water that slides between stones with the innocence of a child taking its first steps. The water here is so clear it seems invisible. Only the wavering reflections reveal its presence. The stones beneath it gleam with faint hues, greens from moss, browns from ancient sediments, silvers from fractured quartz. Catching stray beams of light, everything sparkles in quiet motion. Another layer of the universe opens now as the camera glides. You see how the tiny channel widens, gathering more droplets, more threads of flow, more whispers of water escaping from hidden crevices in the rock. Small ripples appear. For the first time, gentle rings that expand outward with calm precision, like thoughts settling into place after drifting for too long. This is where movement becomes story. This is where sound becomes language. This is where the river learns its voice. Hydrodynamics tells us that even the smallest flow creates vibration. But emotionally, this is the moment water learns how to hum. Another anticipation. Hook shimmers softly. Soon the river will begin its slow descent, falling from the heights into deeper valleys, stretching into long, winding memories. In those places, the true sound of time begins. But for now, we stay in this fragile moment of beginnings. The lens rises again, widening into a panoramic sweep of the mountainside. The landscape is open, sun-brushed, shimmering with dew. Tiny tributaries wind like silver threads across the slope, a fractal network of new beginnings. Each thin line of water is a decision. Each merging is a reunion. Each bend is a quiet turning point. The world feels newly drawn, as if painted in soft strokes of light and patience. You drift closer to the forming stream. The sound changes, a little stronger now, a little more sure of itself, as if the river is gaining confidence with every inch of descent. This is the river learning to speak in full sentences. Another dissolve transitions us into a shaded hollow. The stream gathers into a shallow pool, its surface trembling in slow rhythmic waves. Light scatters across it, creating shimmering constellations that drift and change with every movement of the water. These shimmering patterns, called caustics, mirror the behavior of starlight filtered through nebulae. The microcosm reflects the macrocosm. The river mirrors the universe. This is dreamy science knowledge that feels like starlight touching water. The camera sinks underwater again. Below the surface, everything slows, sediment drifting like cosmic dust, leaf fragments gliding like forgotten memories. Tiny bubbles rising through shafts of trembling light. You feel yourself drifting with them, carried by motion so soft you barely sense it. This is how time feels when it stops hurting, when it becomes gentle, when it becomes spacious enough to rest within. You rise back above the surface. The stream now slips through a narrow, rocky channel. Water gathers speed, but still moves with the clarity and softness of youth. It creates miniature waterfalls that whisper instead of roar, each one shaping the soundscape with delicate precision. This is the early voice of the river. Not yet deep, not yet powerful, but unmistakably alive. Another layer of meaning begins to glow. Rivers sound like time, passing slowly, because they carry the mineral memory of mountains and the airy memory of clouds and the drifting memory of ancient rain. They unite what falls with what flows, with what endures. Your breathing matches their rhythm. You drift with the current, now letting the cinematic movement guide you gently downward along the mountain slope. The landscape shifts gradually. Grasslands giving way to thicker shrubs, shrubs giving way to young trees giving way to deeper forest. The river is growing, and time is growing with it. A subtle anticipation whisper fills the edges of the scene. Downstream, the river becomes something else. Wider, deeper, slower, more resonant. In those places, the sound of water becomes the sound of centuries passing. That is where we are heading, but not quickly. Never quickly. Time must be followed at its own pace. For now, sink into the softness of descent. Let the river carry your thoughts like leaves drifting along its surface. Let the sound loosen the remaining knots inside you. The earth's slow breathing guides every step, and you drift deeper into the river's unfolding memory. The scene opens with a warm, descending glow. You've drifted far enough from the spring that the river is no longer a newborn thread of light. It is no longer a whisper, learning its first syllables. It is becoming something fuller, older, a young river, discovering its voice. The landscape around you has shifted. Trees gather more densely, now their trunks rising like pillars in a slowly forming cathedral of green. Branches arch overhead, weaving shadows across the water in gentle swaying patterns. Sunlight falls through these natural windows in long amber beams, striking the river in ways that make it shimmer like polished metal. The river itself has widened, not by much, just enough to feel its confidence growing. Its sound changes too. No longer tiny glass notes or fragile trickles. Now there is tone resonance, a soft layering of depth. The kind of sound that doesn't just reach your ears, it enters your chest, your breath, your thoughts. A softer revelation waits just ahead. The camera of your mind drifts downward, hovering just above the surface. You notice how the ripples behave differently. Now, wider arcs, longer curves, the signature of a stream that has gathered enough strength to shape the land rather than simply follow it. Hydrologists describe this as the transition between headwaters and mid-reach, a moment when the river stops being born and begins becoming itself. But in sleepy science narration, this moment becomes something deeper. This is where time stops learning and starts remembering. The river carries the early morning with it, its coldness, its clarity, its crystalline sound. But now, it also reflects things it did not know before. Shadows of tall trees dancing, leaves, fragments of the sky trembling on its surface. Time is gaining texture. Stay close to the glowing edge of this moment. The camera glides alongside the flow. The river curves gently, moving around stones that have been polished by centuries of passing water. These stones shimmer beneath the surface, each one shaped by patience. Here, water does not fight obstacles. It folds around them, caresses them, teaches them to soften. This is erosion physics expressed as tenderness. Another layer of the universe opens now. From a wide overhead shot, the river begins to resemble a long silver ribbon draped through the forest. The trees form dark green walls on either side, and the river flashes in sudden bursts of white when sunlight strikes it just right. From above, it looks like a memory moving. The lens drops lower. You drift through shafts of warm light, feeling the air pulse gently with the river's own breath. This is the Earth's slow breathing, visible, audible, tangible. Every rustling leaf, every spaced-out bird call, every distant creak of wood feels synchronized with the rhythm of the water. Your mind matches this rhythm easily. It leans into it. It loosens. Another anticipation whisper begins to form. Deeper downstream, the river ages, and with that age comes the slow, resonant voice of time itself. We will reach that place soon. But for now, this is the river in early adulthood, confident, curious, alive, with soft energy. A gentle dissolve transitions to a new angle. You are now riding just above the water, a smooth glide shot, as if the river has decided to carry you on its own surface. The sound changes again. Low murmurs, gentle gurgles, the soft clatter of pebbles shifting beneath the current. These deeper textures are caused by turbulent flow water, pushed around uneven stones, creating pockets of mixing and eddying. But emotionally, this is where the river begins speaking in full paragraphs. The sound becomes layered, a near field of soft splashes, a mid-range hum, a far echo of continuous motion. This layered sound is the reason people fall asleep to science. It mimics the auditory textures the brain interprets as safety and continuity. It says, "You can rest. Nothing here will break. All motion is gentle." The lens lowers again. You enter a deeper pool, wide and calm, like a held breath. Below the surface, light bends into trembling patterns on the riverbed, a slow pulse of brightness and shadow. These pulses resemble the neural oscillations of a resting mind. The river is mirroring you. Or perhaps you are mirroring it. Tiny fish drift in the coolness, moving so slowly you barely register their motion. Sediment sinks in spirals. A leaf touches the water and spins once, twice, then is carried peacefully downstream. Time feels circular here, not linear, looping softly in spirals of motion and reflection. Another dissolve brings you to a shaded bank. Tree roots dip into the water, twisting like fingers, seeking the coolness below. The river brushes against them, gently creating soft, rhythmic taps. Tap, tap, tap. This delicate percussion has a strangely calming effect. It mimics natural heartbeat variants, inviting your own heart to slow, to soften, to settle. Rivers sound like time passing slowly, because they teach the heart to move the way the earth moves, unhurried, steady, aware of every moment. Another layer begins to glow. The camera rises for another aerial sweep. You see how the river's path begins widening, curving more gracefully, spreading out its voice across the forest. This expansion is not noise, it is maturity. The river is entering the stage where it shapes ecosystems, feeds wetlands, welcomes tributaries, nourishes everything it touches. This is the middle of the river's life. And this is the middle of time, the long, slow part, where stories deepen. A soft anticipation whisper arrives. Downstream, the river will become ancient. Its voice will drop into resonant depths. Its flow will slow until its sound becomes the sound of centuries. But we drift there slowly, always at the river's pace. For now, let the river's wending breath merge with your own. Let the sound fill the quiet inside you. Let time loosen its grip. The earth's slow breathing continues, and the river carries you deeper into the long memory of water. The scene opens with a low amber glow as the river drifts into its mature, ancient self. You are no longer in the narrow, youthful channels of stone and light. The forest has opened. The canopy rises higher, its branches thicker and heavier with age. Sunlight filters down in soft, golden shafts, each beam a quiet staircase for drifting dust motes and tiny insects floating like suspended stars. The river beneath you has widened. Its voice deepens, soft but resonant, not loud, not hurried, just older. This is the river in its adulthood. And this is time learning how to stretch into long, unbroken breaths. A softer revelation waits just ahead. The camera begins a slow, cinematic glide along the river's surface. The water moves in wide, sweeping motions, its ripples deeper and smoother than before. The sound is different now, less brittle, less crystalline, more like a soft chorus of layered murmurs. Hydrologists call this slower, deeper movement, laminar flow, where water travels in parallel sheets with minimal turbulence. But in sleepy science narration, this is something else entirely. This is the sound of centuries passing. The river no longer worries about obstacles. It flows around them with ease, with wisdom, with the long muscle memory of a body that has carved paths across the earth for thousands of years. Stay close to the glowing edge of this moment. The lens sinks just above the water, capturing how the surface reflects the forest in blurred, trembling shapes. Branches bend downward, swaying gently, their reflections stretching into soft, wavering lines. Every reflection moves slowly. Every shimmer lingers a little longer than before. Even the breeze moves through this place, as if aware of the river's age. You feel yourself drifting into that same pace, unhurried, settled, anchored. Another layer of the universe opens now. The camera rises into a wide aerial shot. From above, the river spreads through the valley, like a slow-moving ribbon of bronze. Its shape curves with a quiet confidence, as if it has learned how to rest while moving. On both sides, the land has softened into long meadows and broad fields. Grasses sway in slow waves, the earth breathing invisible motion. This entire valley feels like a memory, something carved over centuries, held in place by the patient touch of water. You drift lower again. At the river's edge, the bank widens into soft mud and fine sand. Tiny creatures leave delicate footprints. Here, birds, insects, small animals who come to drink at dusk. The prints overlap in gentle layers, each one a soft timestamp in the river's unfolding story. Rivers sound like slow time because they carry every footprint of the world. Another anticipation whisper forms. Far downstream, this river will become ancient, wide enough to mirror entire skies, slow enough to sound like deep breathing. But before we reach that enormous calm, there is a middle passage the river wants to show you. A gentle dissolve transitions into a deeper pool. The water darkens not with danger, but with depth. Light sinks more slowly, here bending into muted greens and browns. Fish glide beneath the surface like drifting shadows. Leaves spiral downward through the water column, caught in a slow-motion descent. Time behaves differently in deep water. Physics explains it through reduced light penetration and lower turbulence. But emotionally deep water feels like memory given weight. You drift with the camera beneath the surface. Everything is slower. Here, bubbles rising like tiny lanterns, sediments floating like dust in an old attic, fish moving with a patience that makes the mind quiet without effort. This is dreamy science, a place where biology, physics, and the subconscious blend seamlessly. The camera rises again. You enter a grove where old trees stand like silent guardians. Their roots cling to the water's edge, twisting into the river in thick, gnarled spirals. Some roots vanish beneath the surface, forming underwater arches and hidden hollows. Water runs through these root tunnels with soft, echoing tones, creating pockets of sound that beat like a second, quieter river beneath the main one. The earth does not breathe with just one rhythm. It breathes with many. Your own breathing mirrors these layered rhythms, a quiet sync with the forest, the roots, the ancient flow. Another layer of meaning begins to glow. The river now begins forming small meanders, wide, elegant curves shaped over decades. Each curve is a slow gesture, a movement that requires years to complete. From a high sweeping shot, these meanders look like the handwriting of the earth-long loops and arcs drawn with graceful certainty. This is relaxing science learning from shapes that took lifetimes to form. The lens switches to a slow dolly shot along one of the meanders. The water moves with a smooth, glassy confidence. Where the curve bends, reflections cling to the surface. Longer shadows and sunlight stretching, elongating, lingering. This is where time feels wide, where seconds feel like minutes, where minutes feel like thoughts drifting without urgency, where the day itself stretches open. Another dissolve brings us near the riverbank. A fallen log extends partly into the water. The river moves around it like a blanket adjusting around a resting body. Small whirlpools form at its edges, soft, spiraling motions that twist slowly, gather leaves, release them. These whirlpools are tiny time loops, moments repeating, circling, softening. The mind understands these loops instinctively. They mirror the way memories rise and fade, the way thoughts drift before sleep, the way dreams begin. Rivers sound like slow time because they invite the mind to drift in loops instead of lines. Another anticipation whisper drifts in. Ahead lies the river's ancient heart, the broad basin where its voice becomes the voice of centuries, where the sound deepens into a near silent resonance that carries through soil and stone. That is where we are heading. But gently, always gently. For now, let the wide river carry you. Let its breadth loosen your thoughts. Let its motion stretch time around you. The earth's slow breathing continues, and you drift deeper into the middle age of water. The scene opens in a deep, mellow gold. The river has widened so much now that you can barely see the opposite bank through the soft shimmer of distance. What was once a narrow stream whispering against stones has become a broad, slow-moving expanse, smooth as brushed silk, heavy with age, patient with every inch of its movement. The forest has stepped back. Fields open on both sides, rolling outward into soft, wind-brushed plains. Tall grasses sway with the tempo of a distant lullaby, leaning toward the river, as if drawn into its long, quiet memory. This is the river. In its late adulthood, fully grown, fully aware of its own rhythm, fully connected to the deep timeline of the earth. The sound is nearly a hum now, a deep murmur softened by distance and depth. A softer revelation waits just ahead. From a hydrological perspective, this is the lowland reach where slope decreases, velocity slows, and sediment spreads out in drifting layers. But in sleepy science narration, this becomes something more sacred. This is where time broadens into spaciousness. The camera drifts downward, gliding silently, just above the water's surface. The reflection is nearly perfect. Trees, sky clouds, all trembling in slow, elongated ripples. The larger the river grows, the more it reflects. The more it reflects, the slower everything feels. Reflections stretch time. Your mind absorbs this without effort. The widening surface, the deeper tones, the softer edges of reality. Stay close to the glowing edge of this moment. The lens pulls back into a slow aerial rise. From above, the river unfolds like a vast bronze ribbon, woven through a patchwork of meadows, small farms, and open marshlands forming at its edges. Every bend, the meanders, now long, slow arcs, feels like a brushstroke made over centuries. This overhead view reveals something new. The river's pace has become the valley's pulse. Grasses sway in synchrony with its breath. Birds glide low over the water, riding the thermal currents rising from its calm surface. Clouds drift overhead with the same unhurried arc. Time in this valley is shaped by the river. Another layer of the universe opens now. You descend the camera, dipping toward the center of the river. The water is dark, but not ominous, just deep enough to swallow light, slowly, softly, patiently. Below the surface, fish move like drifting shadows, barely visible except for sudden flashes of silver when sunlight catches their scales. Sediment hangs suspended in the water, fine grains drifting downward in slow spirals. Every spiral is a fragment of history. Mountain dust from ages ago. Soil breathed from ancient floods, crumbled grains of rock shaped by time and friction. The river is carrying the memory of ages. Your breathing adjusts to this slow descent. In, out, calm, drifting wide. Another anticipation whisper glows faintly. Ahead, the river becomes even older. Not just wide, but wise. A place where its voice lowers into a barely audible resonance that touches everything. We will arrive there, gently, a soft dissolve. The camera returns to the riverbank. Here, tall reeds grow in thick clusters, their tips swaying slowly in the warm breeze. Insects hum above the water in gentle rhythmic circles. A heron stands motionless near the shore, its long reflection trembling slightly below. The river nurtures all motion and stillness. You step closer, not physically, but with awareness, and watch as the heron slowly lifts one leg, then places it down, disturbing the water just enough to send a single ripple outward. That ripple expands in perfect rings, wide ringing circles that travel far across the surface. This is how time behaves in a quiet life. Soft ripples, wide movement, moments that grow gentle as they spread. Another layer begins to glow. The river enters a long, sweeping curve surrounded by wetlands. Marsh plants extend into the water, their roots thick with mud, older than human memory. Frogs croak in low, resonant tones. Dragonflies skim the water's skin, leaving faint trails of disturbed light behind them. You can sense the ecosystem breathing together. Everything is moving slowly. Everything in harmony with the river's mature tempo. Rivers sound like time passing slowly because they teach the world around them to move in unison. The camera sinks underwater once more. Light bends into slow green pulses, illuminating submerged roots, clusters of drifting leaves, and deep layers of sediment piling like pages in an ancient book. Below the surface, the sound becomes deeper, still muted, steady, resonant. The kind of sound that the body feels more than hears. This resonance affects the nervous system. It induces calm, reduces alertness, invites the subconscious to open like a drifting door. This is why humans fall asleep to science, why water sounds anchor the mind. Time becomes gentle underwater. You drift up again. The river has grown so wide now that the opposite bank seems softened by distance. The sky above reflects almost completely across the water's surface, turning the river into a slow-moving mirror, a mirror of the world, a mirror of the self, a mirror of time, learning to stretch into eternity. Another dissolve shot. You approach a sandbar that splits the river temporarily. Water flows around it in slow parting waves, soft forks of motion that reunite downstream. Birds nest here, safe in the quiet middle of the river's split breath. This sandbar is the river's pause, a place where time hesitates, holds itself gently, gives everything a moment to breathe. The camera pans across it, showing delicate animal tracks, lines of wind-shaped sand, and small pools of water left behind by last night's tide-like pulses. These patterns are temporary, yet deeply meaningful. The river's handwriting, written in soft grains and erased each day. Rivers sound like time passing slowly because they rewrite the world constantly, but gently, always gently. Another anticipation whisper arrives. Ahead, the river enters its twilight, the slowest, widest, oldest stretch, where the world begins to echo through its motion, where time itself feels on the edge of sleep. We are moving toward that horizon, one soft ripple at a time. For now, let the broad river cradle you. Let its maturity hold your breath steady. Let its vastness carry your thoughts like drifting petals. The earth's slow breathing guides every moment, and the river carries you deeper into the almost eternal quiet. The scene opens in a low copper lavender dusk. The sun is sinking toward the horizon, its light stretched thin across the wide river like a final breath released in slow motion. Shadows lengthen across the water, soft and gentle, as if night is slipping its cool hands around the day with infinite care. The river is vast now. Its surface moves so slowly that it resembles flowing glass, a continuous sheet of shifting reflections. The sound you hear is no longer a series of ripples or murmurs. It is one long, deep note, a resonant hush settling across miles of water. This is the river near the end of its journey, and this is time learning how to rest. A softer revelation waits just ahead. Hydrologists describe this stage as the floodplain, reach where water spreads wide, depth increases, and flow becomes the slowest it has been since the river was born. But in sleepy science narration, this is something more profound. This is where the river becomes memory itself. The camera of your mind drifts into a slow lateral pan across the water. The reflections stretch with the movement, forming long, trembling streaks of gold and violet. The boundary between river and sky begins to blur, as if they are remembering that they were once the same. Time behaves differently in twilight. It expands. It lingers. It pauses between one heartbeat and the next. Stay close to the glowing edge of this moment. The lens sinks gently toward the surface. You watch as ripples move outward from a single falling leaf, circles, widening in concentric rings, slow, perfect, measured. Each ring grows softer as it expands until it dissolves into the stillness. This is the physics of fading time. Even your breathing imitates the pattern. Small moments of stillness, gentle expansions, quiet dissolutions. Another layer of the universe opens now. The camera rises into a sweeping, wide shot. The floodplain stretches across the land like an open hand. Marsh grasses, standing pools, clusters of willow trees rising from the shallows, their roots half submerged, their leaves rustling with the faintest whisper of wind. The river no longer moves with direction alone. It moves with breadth, with presence, with the full weight of all the water gathered since the mountains. This is the river as a lifetime. The mind enters a matching state, broad, spacious, quiet. A deeper anticipation whisper forms. Soon the river will reunite with the ocean, its final horizon, its dissolution into something boundless. In that meeting time and water, both lose their edges. But not yet. The river has one more lesson before it reaches the sea. A gentle dissolve transitions to a serene wetland corridor. Reeds rise tall on both sides, their shadows long and wavering across the water. Birds call softly from hidden branches, not the sharp calls of day, but softer dusk-wrapped notes, meant only for creatures who listen closely. Everything feels quiet, as if the world is holding its breath in anticipation of night. The sound of the river shifts subtly into a deep, velvety hum, so low you feel it more than hear it. This is infrasonic resonance vibrations below conscious hearing, carried through water-soil bone. Your heartbeat slows naturally in response. Your breath lengthens. Your thoughts become as smooth as the river's surface. The earth's slow breathing becomes your own. The lens glides down again. Below the surface, the water is dark and warm, holding heat from the long day. Fish drift like elongated shadows. Leaves sink in slow spirals. Small currents form faint, trembling ribbons of motion. You watch how light bends differently, now softer, less sharp, more like blurred embers drifting in liquid dusk. This is dreamy science, a place where biology, physics, and emotion blend seamlessly into calm. The camera rises. The floodplain broadens even more. The river's banks flatten. Its curves grow more subtle, barely perceptible in the fading light. In the distance, a line of horizon glows with the last orange of the sun. In the near dark, the river glows with afterlight, soft reflections stretching along its length. Another layer emerges. Rivers sound like time passing slowly because their pace grows slower the closer they come to the end. Just like memories. Just like breath. Just like days fading into sleep, you drift closer to the near bank. A fallen tree lies half submerged, its branches reaching into the water like an old hand sinking into warm sand. Water flows around it in soft circular gestures, creating miniature spirals that unwind themselves gently over and over. These spirals mimic dream cycles, micro loops of movement that guide the mind toward subconscious drifting. Another dissolve shifts the angle. You're now drifting directly in the middle of the wide river, carried effortlessly by a current so slow it feels like floating inside a long-held sigh. Moonlight begins to rise, casting silver lines across the water's surface. These lines stretch outward, with the current forming soft, trembling pathways of light. The river wears the night like a veil. Stars appear overhead, tiny bright points reflected twice, once in the sky, once trembling in the water. The boundaries between above and below blur again. Your mind drifts in this mirrored world, half sky, half river, half dream. Another anticipation whisper arrives downstream. Just beyond this twilight stretch, the river meets the horizon, the vastness, the ancient exhale. The ocean, their time dissolves, but not yet. Rest in this quiet moment. The river has slowed to its softest breath. The world mirrors that softness. Your heart follows its lead. For now, let the twilight river cradle you. Let its nearly still surface hold your thoughts. Let its ancient sound move through you like a slow, eternal wind. The earth's slow breathing guides the final descent, and the river prepares you for its last great merging. The scene opens in a soft, rising indigo. Night has fully settled across the landscape. Stars scatter across the sky in quiet constellations, their reflections trembling on the darkened river like distant lanterns drifting across a mirror. The air is warm, with the memory of daylight, yet cool enough to feel like a gentle hand brushing your skin. The world feels hushed, a vast chamber of shadows and starlight carried by the deepest breath the earth has taken all day. The river has grown impossibly wide. It no longer feels like a path through the land. It feels like a moving piece of the night sky, a soft, dark ribbon connecting horizon to horizon. This is the river in its ancient twilight stage, on the verge of becoming something larger than motion, larger than memory, larger than time. A softer revelation waits just ahead. The camera begins a slow cinematic drift downstream, gliding silently across the immense surface. The sound is barely there, a near silent resonance, a low hum at the threshold of hearing, deep enough to feel in your chest. Hydrologists call this the estuary transition, where fresh water meets the first breath of the sea. But in sleepy science narration, this becomes the boundary where time sheds its form, where time stops measuring itself and begins dissolving. The lens dips closer to the surface. The water reflects the stars so perfectly that you cannot tell where the sky ends and the river begins. Every ripple bends starlight into slow-moving constellations, cosmic shapes drifting in liquid form. It feels like the river is carrying the night itself. Stay close to the glowing edge of this moment. The camera rises gently, revealing a distant shimmer. Far ahead, a horizon line glowing faintly with moonlit silver. The sound of the river changes subtly. A new undertone, a low whisper of something vast approaching. This is not the rush of a cascade, or the turbulence of rapids, or the chatter of stones beneath shallow flow. This is the sound of magnitude. the quiet gravity of a greater body of water, calling its wandering child home. Another layer of the universe opens now. The river begins to widen even further, its banks dissolving into a maze of marshland, salt-touched reeds, and shallow tidal pools shimmering under the moon. Light reflects off these pools in 1,000 scattered fragments, each one a tiny mirror, recalling a different part of the sky. You can feel the world shifting around you, the air thickening with salt, the breeze cooling with ocean breath, the scent of open horizons drifting into the valley. The river is learning to become the sea, and time is learning to become eternity. The lens sinks just below the surface again. Here, fresh water begins mixing with salt, a delicate dance of density's vortices forming where the two waters meet, spiraling like galaxies in miniature. These spirals are temporary, fragile, beautiful. They last only seconds, but each one contains the memory of an entire journey. This is the final dream of the river, before it joins a larger consciousness. The camera rises once more. Moonlight stretches across the widening water like a silver road. You drift along that road, weightless, carried by the slow, rhythmic pulse of the tide moving inland to greet the river. Everything here moves in slow waves. The reeds, the distant silhouettes of dunes, the quiet shimmer at the horizon. Time moves in waves too. Another layer of meaning begins to glow. Rivers sound like time passing slowly, because they teach time how to let go. In the mountains, time learns how to move. In the forest, time learns how to grow. In the valley, time learns how to broaden. But here at the threshold of the sea, time learns how to surrender its shape, its boundaries, its beginning and end. This is why the river's final voice is almost silence, almost, but not quite. Listen closer. A soft, distant rumble emerges, deep, continuous, as ancient as the planet's earliest breath. The ocean. The camera drifts forward, slow, steady, letting the horizon rise inch by inch until it fills your vision. The river narrows in depth, but widens in breadth, becoming flatter, more reflective, more like a sheet of liquid, starlight, being pulled gently into the sea's embrace. Another dissolve. You arrive at the meeting place, a vast, shimmering boundary where river and ocean touch each other with infinite patience. The water here is neither one nor the other, but both. A merging, blending, a dissolving. The sound deepens, soft waves brushing against the last breath of the river, carrying it outward into the endless, timeless body of the sea. Your mind drifts with it. This moment is the entire journey, folded into one breath. The birth of the spring. The narrow channels, the widening curves, The twilight stretches. The floodplain sighs the nearly silent hum of ancient depth. All of it now dissolves into the great exhale of the ocean. Time dissolves with it. This is the river's final lesson. Time is not something that passes. It is something that flows. It narrows. It widens. It deepens. It stretches. It mirrors the sky. It carries memory. It holds silence. And in the end, it returns to something vast enough to hold it effortlessly. The river's last ripple touches the sea. The sea accepts it without a sound. The camera rises into a wide aerial shot, the river fading into the ocean's slow pulse, the coastline gleaming like starlight caught on the edge of the world. Above, the night sky opens fully dark, endless, filled with drifting constellations. Below, the ocean breathes in this perfect symmetry. The mind finds rest. Let yourself drift in this merging, in this dissolving, in this reunion of motion and silence. The earth's slow breathing surrounds you. The ocean holds you. Time releases you. Rest now.